Hey everybody, it's Settler38. Today we've got a different type of video. We're going to open up $500 of comics. I've been trying to build up my collection. I've got the cards, haven't stopped loving breaking or anything like that, but I thought, hey, why not expand my horizons? I always used to collect comics when I was a kid, still have my Superman collection. Back during the Death of Superman era, I was buying a ton of comics then, and comics have definitely picked up again. There was a YouTuber I watched for a while, the Funko Bad Guy. I forget his actual YouTube name. Pretty good guy, pretty interesting. Got my interest peaked. And then one of my Discord groups has a guy that is all about comics. So I thought I'd try my hand. We're going to go and film this. I'm going to showcase about what I spent on it. If I can find this, I've got a nice long shipping document here. And then we're going to come back at 6 months and a year and see if there's any additional value here, if these just end up being shelfies, for lack of a better term. Essentially, comic books that have no additional value beyond retail. I got these from Things from Another World. Great people. We'll see the quality of this thing. I've bought a few single comics off them in the past, but I haven't actually bought a massive amount of comics off them previously. Got a bunch of pre-orders here. So let's see what we got. I'll try to showcase everything that's here, and hopefully in a fashion that makes sense and we can see what's going on. I don't know if I've got enough space down here. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Have a Darth Vader sort of thing. Star Wars comics are always fantastic. 50th anniversary, like movie poster variation here. That was pretty cool. Let's see what I can talk about with these. Some of these will have duplicates. I bought one to read and one to keep, or a few copies if it's something very hot. So we got 2 copies of that guy right there. Let's see if they're in any sort of order I can find. Looks like it's in alphabetical order. So Star Wars Darth Vader. All right, that was like $3 and change. I think that might be worth a little bit more. Something I do want to get into is this whole new Ghost Rider. We've got the Spirits of Vengeance comic. I had to get a reprint of this because I think I couldn't get a ton of editions of this. I only could find 1 or 2. So another pretty cheap guy right there. That was $3.99. That's my only copy of that, sadly. Cool looking art. Of course, if you're into comics or into, James Tynion, you know about Something is Killing the Children. This is number 19. I don't know if that's a variant or not, but a pretty cool piece of art. Yeah, it's Del Adara's version of that. That was like $2.70. So, I mean, it makes sense to buy the comics nice and early because they're a lot less, especially if you do before the final order cutoff. Oh, this is a cool one. Got this. Is that passive and aggressive? I forget exactly what that is. Well, maybe one of those I have to dig into and read and see what's happening. There'll be a few of these, especially if there are variants or very black and white sort of covers. Let's see if I can figure out what that is. I don't know if that is passive aggressive or not. Anyways, we'll keep going with this. We have pretty fun Skybound comic. We got a Clementine, kind of further explication of their story. Okay, so that's a Skybound thing. Cool. And I'm looking through this sheet and trying to figure out exactly what is what. Okay, that was Skybound number 1 here, and then that was Skybound number 5. That was a ratio, the 1 out of 10 copy. All right, that makes sense now. And that was Howard, so a very rare edition. Not rare, but it can be rare. A variant's always fun. Another one of those. Shang-Chi. We were just on quarantine, so I haven't had a chance to actually go and watch the movie yet. I'll have to dig into these comics. I've got number 1 floating around here somewhere, maybe in this pile. You got a few copies of these. You can't go wrong with a cover that has Shang-Chi and Captain America there. A Moon Knight looks like. I believe. I'll leave that up here. Got some fun Kang the Conqueror ones. This is the young variant. Picked up a few young covers. Love their art style. I actually picked up 3 of these guys. All right. More Kang. We got Peach Momoko's version. All right, so these are pretty massive in number. We'll keep going with this pile. I have to try to go through this a little bit quicker, just because there are so many of these. All right. So TFAW.com if you're looking for any of the stuff. That's another Peach. We got Gleason's version of Kang. Got a few of those. There's our passive aggressive. So this is, I think you have to open this up to see what's going on with this. I want to say this is aggressive. We got a very cool King Shark version of Future State. This is Gotham #4. So anything to do with the Suicide Squad is hot as all get out. We got a few of those guys. Let's see what we were running for those. That was $3 and change each, $10.47 for the 3. Bag and board was like 15 or 20 cents per. We got another Future State. A cool kind of cyberpunk look to that. 3 of those. We got the Harley Quinn version of this as well. So we got all the variants cover-wise, looks like. Something else I grabbed a bunch of. I have a few of the Virgin variants too, but this is Lasher #1. It's another young cover, so you can see the kind of chibi style they're going for. What else? Another Lasher version here. Who is that? This version. Very sharp, kind of like 90s inspired. Dream Carnage, or that's a Johnson connecting variant. All right. If I get any of these wrong, I'm just familiarizing myself. This is my first big buy. I've bought single versions, color splash, black and whites, all before, but nothing like a $500 order. Eat the Rich #1. Got some Department of Truth issues. 12, I believe, is just a plain issue. Might be the ending of the first story. 13 is another big issue in regards for introductions. I might be wrong. It might be 12, but got a few versions of those. And this is either the corrected version, I think, of that, the 1 out of 10 ratio, 1:10 ratios. Department of Truth here. Yeah, so that there are a few of these that are the replacement 6 printing. That's the cover A here. And we should have a yellow one that is the 1 out of 25. That might be another part of that pile. We got some Defender stuff. Love my Marvel, and that is just such a cool 60s, maybe 70s Kirby kind of inspired version of the comic. Got a few of those as well. Another variant with Doctor Strange and Deadpool. 30 years of Deadpool. Can't believe it. Here's the one comic I was really wanting to show off. The Batman 89 styled cover here. The movie poster cover, I should say. You got Billy D. Williams as Two-Face, actually getting his turn, even though he wasn't in the movie. Got a few copies of those. I'm going to definitely have to dig into that one tonight when I get some time to read it. What else do we have here? Avengers Annual #1. You have an introduction of one of the big bads, I believe. Avengers 47. Got a whole heck of a lot of things going on. You got Thor, Cap, little bit of fan service here. We've got the Inhyuk cover. This is the Asian American Pacific Islander cover. Yeah, it says up here, Heritage variant. Then we got the end of the first pile. What do we have? Oh, here's the 1 out of 25. Department of Truth one. This is the correct one. They had mixed up the colors the first time it came out. Another Peach Momoko, I believe. We got Amazing Fantasy number 2, another variant. All right, so that's the first half of the pile. That's about $200 worth of the value. Maybe a slight bit less. Let's crack into the second big mass of stacks. Let's see what we got here. I forget everything that we ordered because this is sent out once a month. So it's everything I put in an order for. Try to do that where we don't knock over the camera and don't cut up any of the comics. There we go. We got Marvel Voices. This is a reprint. I believe this is second printing. Let's try to show that on off. I was going to get a copy of this over at Second and Charles, but it was still like $8. It was a little bit cheaper over on TFAW. Pretty sharp looking cover there. Let's get this craft paper out of the way. See if we can smash it all up and put that back a little bit. I forget who that is. Some of these comics I got based on the look alone. Some of these are repeats. We have some Radiant Black. I've got some of these already. But that's the third printing of issue 5. Pretty distinctive red, blue, and black coloring here. Pops at you from a bookshelf for sure. We got Puppers on Nightwing 83. So we need to read that whole comic where he forgets he's Nightwing. We got Nice House on the Lake. We got a few of these. This is a very distinctive, kind of like a J.W. Turner, if you're familiar with 19th century artist look to things, where it's very emotive and got natural kind of environmental things going on to the cover. We got, let's see, another one of these Nice House on the Lakes. This one's a reprint, second printing. Should have a few more of those. It's got a very sharp look to it, depending on what you're looking at. It's got cohesion amongst the covers. All right, so we're going to try to hurry up a little bit more. Some more Moon Knight. I'll show you a very cool variant edition I got from one of the comic festivals. Comic shows, I guess. Got a few of those. Might be Momoko again. The Me You Love in the Dark. We got another young thing. The first, that might be second or third of printing. I'll have to look at that real quick. That's his cover A. Okay, that's just plain. That was $260 or so a comic. We got some Wolvie stuff. We got another AAPI Heritage variant, another Inhyuk. Definitely love that look generally. You can't go wrong with We Live. There's a lot of hype going on about that. Number 4. Got number 1 floating around here somewhere. I think I got the free comic book day version. I don't know how I got 4 copies of it, but I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. All right, we're in the home stretch. This is the last half or so of what I picked up this month. People are very up in arms about this if you like your Captain America to be a white guy, but this art is so freaking cool. You got the kind of like graph paper style, but then it's like a, I don't know, Super Friends style design for the cover. Just looks fantastic. I'll leave that right here. And I'm immature and Kickapoo sounds dirty. I got a few copies of that. I don't know why I picked up 4 of that. Oh no, I have some other ones here too. I have number 2. So this is the different variants, the graph paper variants as you were, whether it's Nichelle or Joe Gomez. So there should be a few more of those. And of course, we got Stray Dogs. I'll have to show you my Stray Dogs collection. We got some signed ones. You have the movie homage ones further down. I forget, is that Reservoir Dogs or Departed? A lot of covers that homage a old movie. Got a few of those. This is The Craft, I think. Oh, we got 28 Days Later, homage. One thing that I noticed are these comics kicked up the cost quite quickly over the course of a month. Only $60 or $7. We got a per week ends up adding up to a bunch, especially when you get tax and shipping and bags and boards and everything. Pretty cool. Number 1. That is the cover B. That's 5th printing, so pretty small print run on those guys. End up being way too many of those. This is from like 2 months ago, so I've dropped down to like getting like 3 copies of some of these. Interview with the Vampire, homage. Should have a 2 or 3 of those as well. Hopefully not 5, but probably. These are some of the first things I bought. I definitely went a little too hard on those. But what can you do? There we go. One thing I'm absolutely happy to do is get a bunch of these Star Wars ones. Well, that's number 7, which has a lot of introductions, or number 1. We got a variant edition of number 8. I think somebody new is in this one as well. Those red covers just look fantastic, don't they? When I used to run a magazine, the red covered versions of my magazine always sold the quickest. I think there's just something to the eye appeal you've got. We got number 8 too, a different variant cover. All right, that gives us conclusion for the rest of the plain ones. Let's get into the high-end versions. These are TFAW exclusives. Let's see what we got in here. Nice little packet here. So in the future, beyond just go slower, let me know what you'd like to see about this. I don't mind doing a pickup video for my comics every few weeks if that's something people like, or if you don't care about comics, that's cool too. Okay, so let's get into this final pack of about 10 comics and magazines. Let's see these right here. Have another variant, very cool look to it. Has like an 80s, well, obviously an occult sort of vibe to it with the moon and the upside down pentagram and random eyes. Mother of Madness number 2, such a cute art there. That's, I guess, random variant cover for cover C. There we go, King Spawn. Spawn was such a big comic when I was a kid. And I had heard that if you don't actually buy the King Spawn signed version from McFarlane himself, he won't sign this. So you can't just get a copy of this. But I was too young to get in on the ground floor of Spawn number 1. And it's nice to actually be able to get into a new comic. I got a few copies of that. And it looks like this time around we conclude something slightly bigger than normal. One of these Star Wars zines, for lack of a better term. Very cool. Anyways, this is the first, and hopefully many of these comic videos, just showcasing what I picked up. See if it's worthwhile. After 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, perhaps I'll do a video checking in. I know a few of these comics are already worth a little bit more just because I picked them up on pre-order as opposed to buying them from my local comic book store. But shout out to my local comic book store. There's one called Excalibur that's got stores in Texarkana and Shreveport. Great guys both places, good prices. And yeah, we're going to go and check this out maybe in December or January and see if any of these comics picked up, any of those weird variants, reprints, or whatever. This has been Setla38. Have a great rest of your day.